Hi, I'm Abby Herpel.
And I'm Anna Young.
Today we're reporting live from the ACF newsroom about apartheid in South Africa.
Today is June 26th, 2022, and this marks the 70th anniversary of the beginning of the Defiance campaign in South Africa.
We're now going to cast you live in South Africa to Ansley and Eleanor, who are news reporters on.
Thank you, Anna and Abby, for that intro. Now for some background on the events that led up to the Defiance campaign. In the year 1949, in late May, the National Party won the election and introduces apartheid measures against blacks and other races. Furthermore, in that same year, individuals spoke out against these political injustices. Then in December, the ANC, African National Congress, youth leaders come to power in the ANC. On December 17th, the ANC adopts propaganda of action. This abandoned traditional reliance on tactics of moderation. These include petitions and deputation, and they adopt a more militant approach. In the year 1950, using a more militant approach for African nationalism, they created mass action using tactics of boycotts, strikes, and civil disobedience. The National Party government laid the groundwork for mass trial, which stigmatized the true ANC advocacy of equality and support for violence and high treason. Next, they advocated for the Population Registration Act, but in fact the Group Areas Act was passed in that same year. By early January, the Planning Council of ANC and the South African Indian Congress met for the first time to strategize the Defiance campaign. Now on to Ansley for some philosophical info.
Thank you, Eleanor, for some wonderful historical context. Now, the Defiance campaign was the largest non-scale violent resistance ever seen in South Africa. It included the African National Congress, the South African Indian National Congress, and later, the Congress of Democrats. Now you see, the campaign launched the December of 1951. The whole point of this was to defy the laws that apartheid had set in South Africa. In doing so, thousands of people, including the majority of blacks and Indians, with a few whites and colored people, commenced boycotts, strikes, and acts of civil disobedience in major cities along with some smaller towns. These volunteers would go into the major cities and defy the apartheid laws. The campaign slowly began to spread to Cape Town, and so on. Soon enough, the campaign gained momentum and riots broke out. With these riots, major arrests were made. Once the campaign ended, around 8,000 people had been arrested. Back to Eleanor for our interview.
Anna Young.
And I'm Abby Herpel.
I'm reporting live from the ACF newsroom. We have a few questions for our live reporters down in South Africa. Which party was the first party to take measures against apartheid?
Thank you for that question, Anna and Abby. Hey guys, it's Ansley and Eleanor reporting live from South Africa. The ANC was a political party in South Africa that was made up of native South Africans in opposition to the African National Party, which was mostly made up of white English and Dutch men.
Everybody knows Nelson Mandela, but how was he involved in the Defiance campaign and what was his impact?
Anna Abby, great question.
Well, you see, he became the main ANC leader and led many marches. He also inspired new youth leaders in this organization and other youth to fight against apartheid.
What were some of the most important events in the Defiance campaign?
Yeah. An important event that happened during the Defiance campaign was when the peaceful protests suddenly turned into riots because 5,000 demonstrators had been arrested. These riots soon went all across the nation, which led to more arrests and even deaths. Hey Eleanor, what about the outcomes of the Defiance campaign?
You're totally right. How could I forget? One major outcome of the Defiance campaign was that it inspired civil rights activists in the U.S. Another one was that the government arrested the national leaders of the campaign in Johannesburg and Eastern Cape. This happened under the Communist Act because they were charged with promoting communism. Third, it demonstrated large-scale and growing opposition to apartheid, but these leaders were later released on bail. Finally, this demonstrated a large-scale and growing oppression to apartheid. Back to you, Abby and Anna.
Thank you, Eleanor and Ansley, for teaching us about this important day marking the beginning of the Defiance campaign. This event helps to convey the importance of understanding worldly history. Join us next time for our interview with Trevor Noah on apartheid. Peace out from the ACF studio.